Hey everybody, what's going on? We are reacting to another video today. After Colred's video, Wizard D Gaming reached out to me and sent me a link to his video that he made that's sort of another conversation about things that Plarium is doing and asked for my take on it. So I thought, again, it would be interesting for us to just watch it together for the first time and talk about it live. So I will link him down below. He is closing in on 2,000 subscribers, which is really dope. So be sure and go show him some love. The video is called Plarium is Doing Great Things for Free to Play. So a little bit of a different tone than the last reaction video. I'm interested to hear the takes because in some ways I probably will not disagree, and in other ways I might. So let's see what the conversation is exactly here. Wizard D.
Hi friends, Wizdy here. Welcome to a new Raid Shadow Legends video. This might not be a popular opinion, but in all fairness, I think that Plarium really did a good job this year of catering to free-to-play and new players in the game. We'll talk today about why I think so with details.
Free-to-play and new players. Okay. Because they have a tendency, one of the complaints over the years has been their emphasis on whales and new players, and it's everybody that's in between that's kind of like, what about us, right? So I think there's a distinction there. I think that there's a lot of things for new players that are also good for free to play, but I think if we're talking about free to play as a sector of the community, those aren't necessarily the same thing. So we'll see where we're going with this.
That maybe I'm asking to Plarium to get into the content creators program. I would say yes only if it works. Yeah, let's talk about the details now. So the first good things that they have done, in my opinion, they gave you promo codes to get, and this is my free-to-play, it's less than 6 months into the game, that's why I'm using it to explain. So they gave you promo codes to get Monkey King, Wukong, one of the strongest champions that they released for free. So they just gave you the promo code to get it.
They did do that. I think I think it's Monkey King, right? But if I'm not mistaken, that's just for new players. I think that's a first 48 hours promo code, which again is really cool of them to do that. Sun Wukong is fantastic for any account. And if you happen to be a new player or happen to be starting a new account and are also going to be free to play, then I guess technically yes, it's a benefit for free to play. But again, I don't think this applies to anybody that's free to play. I might be wrong. I can't remember if that's a limited promo code for like a new account, or if everyone got to use that one. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone got to use the Ninja one, which I don't know if he'll bring up here. Which on one hand, you could look at and go, that was a really cool move of them to just bring Ninja back with a promo code. But it's hard to give them credit for that when it's a problem they created. I don't know that you deserve the same type of credit for creating a problem and then solving it later. If you don't know Ninja, they did a collab with Ninja and they put him in the game. He's one of the best free champs they've ever given. And then when his event ended, he was out of the pool and there was no way to get him anymore. So if you didn't have Ninja already, then you just were never going to have Ninja. And this bothered a lot of people because, again, he's really good. He's really good at a lot of different things. So there's a pretty easy solution to that problem, too. Summoner's War does it. Summoner's War does crossovers with a lot of different IPs. One of their more popular ones is Street Fighter. So during the Street Fighter event, you can pull Ryu and Ken and Dalzim and Chun-Li and all these cool Street Fighter champs, right? And they've all got their own unique kits. And then when the Street Fighter event is over, they then introduce the Summoner's War versions of the Street Fighter characters. So they have the same kits, they're just not the Street Fighter characters, because that's really where the fun is, right? The fun part was pulling Ryu during a Street Fighter event. But when the Street Fighter characters are taken out of the summon pool, they are replaced with true to the game versions that have the same kit, it's just a different skin, basically, right? So when the Ninja event ended, all they had to do was put someone in the pool that exactly had Ninja's kit, and that's it. Problem solved. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of an easy one to solve. And then I still don't know if they've solved it, unless the Ninja promo code that they put out is permanent and anybody can use it at any time. I still don't even know if they've solved the problem. I don't remember if they put Ninja like in the summon pool officially or what. But was it cool of them to just give everyone a code to have him? Yeah, that's super dope. but I don't. It's sort of a solution to a problem they created. So I don't even know if he'll talk about
Unfortunately, I
Ninja, but
started this account
I
a
thought it was
little
worth
bit
mentioning.
earlier, and I chose Deacon, so I couldn't pick a Wukong. But if I knew about it, I would have picked him. Second thing is that they brought back something that we've all been asking for so long. They brought us back Ninja.
Yeah,
So everyone can have Ninja on his
which
account.
is it's
Super
great
strong
to be able to have
champion,
Ninja, but
probably the strongest free login champion. There is a debate between him, Artak, and Wukong. But yeah, so only in the last 6 months, they gave you for free two of the strongest free login champions.
it's coming through
Without
my
doing
mic.
anything, you just log
Trying
in
to
into
not
the
let that
game
happen.
and you just get them. The third thing that they have done really well here is that they gave you for free Loki, a champion that's very useful for everyone inside the game, and better than just giving you the champion, they gave you, if you just play for a couple of weeks after getting him, his 5-star soul, which would work awesomely because you'll give him accuracy anywhere. You'll be landing brimstone left and right. This is
Yeah, this one I would say I pretty much hard agree with. I think this was a good chase. I think I appreciated the wiggle room. That's one of the things we talked about in the last part of the last conversation in Coleridge's video was the lack of wiggle room they tend to give us in things like this. I don't remember if they always give us this much. I think the last one of these they did was Adeline, and I think most of us probably don't remember the details about the Adeline chase because it was pretty uneventful. She's not great, I don't think, but yeah, Loki's really cool, and I appreciated the wiggle room in this. If I had one nitpick about the Loki chase, it's that they could have just put pinpoint gear in it instead of perception. But like, you know what I mean? Whatever, it's fine. He's a really cool champ, and pretty easy access to a 5-star soul. And for an example of like how impactful that is, he's the only 5-star soul I have in my account of any of the champs that I'm actually using. Um, maybe aside from Azure, maybe. All I know is he's at the top. When I load up my roster, he's at the top. He's my only legendary with a 5-star soul, maybe I should say. Again, aside from Adeline, who doesn't count as far as I'm concerned. They're rare. They're hard to come by. So to give you pretty easy access to him with some wiggle room, because I missed a few days for sure, and I finished it a few days early. So there was a lot of wiggle room in there. So yeah, definitely deserves some credit for that. And if I'm not mistaken, it was improved from previous chase events. So yeah, the chase events
is
are
really
pretty dope.
amazing. I might even prioritize maxing Loki on this account only for the 5-star soul. I might also add a fourth thing, Joe. I don't have it on the account because of when I started, but they gave us Wixwell almost like 6 months ago now, or maybe a little bit more. But Wixwell is a strong champion that enabled everyone, if you have the right gear, to 1-key Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. Wixwell's fusion was a little bit tough. I failed to do it on this account because it was too early. It was probably 4 weeks into the game. But they are giving us now Thor fusion.
Yeah, I think Wixwell. That's a tricky one too because I do think I remember that fusion being particularly difficult to finish. I am free to play and I did finish it, so there's something to be said for that. And I think Wixwell might be. I think there's an argument to be made for Wixwell being perhaps the most valuable fusion we've ever had. I think because if you get Wixwell, you pretty much have a 1-key clan boss team. It's not very hard to build, and you don't really need anything else on the team that you don't have reasonable access to. It is perhaps the most account changing fusion we've ever had because hitting Ultra Nightmare and Nightmare Clan Boss every day is probably the most important thing for you to do in the game. My ability to participate in events and fusions and do anything that I want to do in this game skyrocketed after I built my Wixwell Clan Boss team. After that got sorted, it was over. Like I'm playing such a different game now. I pulled Ancients for the first time this morning in a while. But I was up to 225 Ancients. I think I'm still sitting on like 12 Sacreds. I was at 20 Sacreds a few days ago. The amount of shards and skill tomes that come your way when you can do that is hard to emphasize until you experience it. So Yeah, putting Wixwell in the game, making him a fusion, giving everyone access. Well, I don't know if they gave everyone access to him. He said he was unable to do it because his account was a little too new. Um, and I think there was a couple moments. I think I had to get a little crafty in finishing that fusion. I feel like I do remember it being kind of tough. But again, I was free to play and I was able to do it. So there's a case to be made for it. Now, I will say, I don't know if I think that I don't know if I think Plarium knew how impactful Wixwell was going to be. I think there's a good argument to be made for the fact that they do not test their game very intensely. The content creators have the test server and they get to do stuff a few days early, but I don't think Plarium is using that for necessarily testing bugs and stuff. Bugs/wild imbalances. Now, they haven't taken it away, so they deserve some credit for that because they have been known to release something not knowing the impact it's going to have and then have to make adjustments to it post release, which creates a lot of drama, right? That creates a lot of problems. So they haven't taken it away. I guess they deserve some credit for that. Wixwell, I would have to agree, was pretty impactful. Maybe the most impactful thing ever for free to play. It's such a game changer.
Fusion
Um,
at the time of
so
this
yeah,
recording.
and then
And
apparently
Thor
Thor's really
Fusion,
good
Thor
too.
would be very strong in helping your account everywhere. And we got surprised that they lowered the points for the summoning events, especially the first one. Thor Fusion.
That's true too. I did notice that this fusion up to the end felt much easier. I think I commented a few times throughout the fusion that it seemed really easy, but then around the end, I feel like it's always a dungeon divers on the back end of a fusion that drains my gems. I can like especially with Thor, I got through the first part of it without really having to spend any resources that weren't refilling. And then the dungeon divers cost me, a couple grand in gems. Um, but yeah,
Back
pretty easy
from
fusion for
everyone in my
apparently a good
Discord
champ.
and the players I know was way easier than we thought it should be for a champion that's going to be strong everywhere, PvP and PvE. I'm really excited to get Thor on this account, and I had a pleasant surprise. Like, if you see here, I'm almost done with the fusion at the time of this recording, and I didn't even dig deep into my gems
Where's my
pile.
rat chooses right now to
So
be thirsty?
giving us such a strong fusion with low requirements, relatively, I would say, that's really an awesome move from Plarium. So within just a few months, they're giving you 3 or 4 good champions with soul stones, and these are not even events that require you investing much energy or summons into the next, except for Thor because he's a fusion, of course, but you get my point. So yes, we complain about the monetization strategy, the prism charts and everything. What part of what I'm talking about here actually was actually inspired by this recent video from Nubraid, just asking people on his channel how they are feeling about raid, whether it's positive or negative.
Nub talked about this. So Nub did a reaction to my video, to Coleridge's video, and he talked about this poll. It would be really interesting to see him do this poll again, because this was before the situation going on right now with the summit event at the end of the fusion. It'd be interesting to see if the numbers were much different.
So that's what made me think about all of these recent things that Plarium have done just to boost the free-to-players accounts. Without doing anything, just log into the game, play and enjoy playing, and then you'll get those awesome champions with their soul stones and stuff. Again, we still have some negative comments about it, but it's a big game, and I think they are doing way better this year catering to free-to-player and early accounts than that what they have done last year, for example, in 2023. So thank you, Plarium, for this. Please keep going into
Yeah. So again, I would say that doing things for new accounts is not anything new. This has been again a point of contention for the longer time players for several years now. Um, there's speculation that that as far as metrics go, new accounts being created is really good for them. That's something they seem to really want. So they really put a lot of emphasis on enticing new players to join or enticing new accounts to be made. I don't know that they necessarily care that it's new players. I think they just like new accounts being made. And they know that a lot of their players are making multiple accounts. I know a lot of people who have a ridiculous amount I've made several accounts over my time playing. But there's people that maintain, 4 and 5 accounts at a time. So That's not necessarily anything new. And yeah, again, if you happen to create a new account that's going to be free to play in some of these windows, it's really good for you. But I don't know if that's the same as saying it's really good for free to play, because there are a lot of people that have been playing this game for an extended amount of time that play it free to play, and some of these things just don't apply to them. But I absolutely agree that there are some good things going on, and this year, now that you mention it, does seem particularly impactful. Again, Wixwell, the impact of Wixwell cannot be slighted. That's a ridiculous champ to have access to in a fusion. The Loki chase is great. The Thor fusion was pretty manageable, and Thor's apparently really good. Um, and on one hand, you could look at my account lately and say, you're free to play and you seem to be doing everything. But I've been hoarding for months. I've been sitting on my shards for literal months, to now be able to participate in some of what's going on comfortably. And I may, by the end of what's going on right now, dump all my shards and have to start back from ground zero. Now, I do have Wixwell. My shards are going to fill up much faster. The game is so much more playable because of Wixwell. The game is more playable in the sense that I get to participate in a lot more things more frequently because shards tend to be the bottleneck, and I'm getting a lot of shards from Clan Boss, which is letting me pull champions more frequently, which is letting me get new units that are going to enable me to progress further. Today, for example, if you saw my free to succeed, that summon session changed my account drastically, very drastically. So and that just wouldn't have happened if I didn't have Wixwell. So I think Wixwell might be the most impactful thing they've done this year. I'd be interested to hear y'all's take on that. So yeah, I think they certainly deserve some credit for some of the stuff they're doing. And I guess that must get lost sometimes when I'm ranting about something else. But again, if you watch me on a regular basis, you hear me sing their praises sometimes. You hear me give them credit for the things that I think they deserve credit for too. But a lot of people, you could just look at the views on the videos and tell there's a lot of people that only show up for the rant videos, so they think that's my whole sentiment. But I don't feel that way. I agree. I think they're doing a lot of good stuff. There's been some pretty good quality of life this year as well. I would like to see it a little bit more thought out. I think some of the quality of life we've gotten this year is not done. I think that the like the auto rank up and the auto level up stuff, those are cool features to have on paper, but they're not done. We need a little bit more control over how those work, and it kind of feels like they just dumped them in the game without really letting us control how it goes. So good video. I think it's a good video. I think it's pretty well timed. It's nice to have a conversation with a different tone, right? Everybody's obviously pretty irritated right now about the summon event, and you know, I'm reacting to Cole Red, and Nub is reacting to me, and there's I think there's just a lot of tension in the community right now because of the summon event, and perhaps there's extra tension because it seemed like things were going well for a minute, and then they pulled this bull crap. So everybody's like got the pitchforks back out in mass, but yeah, pretty solid video, man. And I don't necessarily disagree. The only thing I would disagree with is I think Wukong was just for new accounts, and then Ninja, I don't know if they deserve much credit for because it's a problem they created. So I don't know. I'm interested to hear what you guys think. Are you free to play? Have you been free to play the whole time? What's your experience like as a free to play player? Did you get Wixwell? Have you played other games free to play to have anything to compare it to? How long have you been playing? How much of the game do you feel like you get to participate in? How many of the events and fusions and stuff do you feel like you get to comfortably participate in? I'd be interested to hear y'all's experience all around as far as it pertains to this topic. So anyway, again, I'm going to link Wizard D down below. I appreciate him asking me to check this video out. Appreciate him wanting my insight on it at all. I will link him below. Go show him some love. He is quickly closing in on 2,000 subscribers, which is really dope. So that's it for me. I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you next time.